This is Ian, and this is Desmond, but we'll get to him in a minute. Ian always knew that if he wanted to survive the bust, he needed to be preparing during the boom. That's why he helped start a renewable retraining program for oil and gas workers, which brought him here, to his newest project, a project that changed how he saw everything. We met up with Ian in the heart of that project, a school that shows future generations firsthand the potential of a new industry to talk about an old one looking for a new start. Here on Renewable.
To break into the renewable energy industry, whether you're installing wind turbines or putting up solar panels or working in any other form of renewable energy, all you need is just a little bit of extra training. I've been an electrician for about a little over 20 years, I guess, in the oil and gas industry. And I've worked with concrete, like I built Tim Hortons and Lubexes and things like that when there was no work as an electrician. So it's been up and down.
Ian has seen it all. Firsthand, he's watched the boom and bust, the fluctuations of job security. That's what sparked him and a group of fellow tradespeople to start Iron and Earth.
So Iron and Earth is essentially a worker-led organization that is hoping to empower oil and gas workers and Indigenous people to work in the renewable energy economy. So if you are a tradesperson in Alberta, if there's a downward spiral in the oil and gas sector for a period of time, and you're trained to work in renewables, you can easily make that transition, because if you think of the amount of roofs in the province with no solar on, whether it be a commercial roof or industrial roof or a residential, whatever, there's a lot of opportunity to do work in this field.
Which brings us here, to a community an hour outside of Edmonton, and the home of Iron and Earth's latest project. To a community that has embraced renewable energy with a way of thinking unique to their cultural identity. It's where we meet Desmond.
My name is Desmond Bull. We're on the Louis Bull tribe, Kisputnau. We're at the Kisputnau School, K to grade 9. This is the last building we have in my community that actually needs renewable components added to it. So talking with Iron and Earth, we're working on a proposal right now. We want to do solar, but we want to diversify what we also want to do in a building and what we're teaching. So we definitely look at some mini wind turbines. We definitely want to consider some geothermal, some charging stations, some battery storage. Something that diversifies. How we're cultivating energy and how we're using energy. But also we want to put within a building displays to show to the community members or students that are walking by, this is how much energy this thing is producing. This is how much energy it's going to save us on a week. So kids are aware that this is going to be keeping the building functioning.
For Desmond, the school project is as much about education as it is about energy. New technology and ideas are inspiring. And it's his hope that spending their time in a building in part powered by this tech will inspire the kids in his community to take part in the renewable industry. But to look at a community where every single public building is in some way taking advantage of renewables, you can't help but wonder, what sparked this deep belief in this field?
Well, in First Nation communities, and especially mine within Cree culture, there's an understanding that things follow through a cycle, and the cycle follows every 7 generations. Right now, we're at our 7th generation from the first signing of the treaty back in 1876. So that was that first generation, and we're at our 7th right now. So we're beginning a new cycle, and that new cycle is very evident about how First Nations are getting more involved, environmental issues, environmental concerns, making sure that we as First Nations people at the 7th generation, start looking much further for the next 7 generations. If I can create something such as a PV solar system on a building that might last 50 years, that's something that speaks volumes in regards to, what I want to try to do to show that energy efficiency practice and sustainability can be achieved easily within this time.
Working together, collaborating to create something sustainable and impactful for everybody involved. We wrapped up with Ian and Desmond with a question about how this idea scales. How do we move forward embracing the lessons that they learned as a province and as a people?
I think it's good to diversify. I think we shouldn't be a one-trick pony here in Alberta. And I think that if we focused on other options, we could avoid the boom and bust cycle that Albertans are so used to in the oil and gas industries.
For me, it falls into that understanding. You know, you see it right on a school when you walk in a building. We are all treaty people. You know, it's that understanding that we all signed a treaty as Canadian citizens and as First Nation people. And if you read the treaty, you know, it does outline in there in so much a sense that we are necessarily got to take care of each other, take care of the lands, take care of the resources. And that's to ensure future generations have something to flourish.